and welcome to another Mixed Grill Quick Bites hand analysis. I'm Mike, and today we're going to kick it old school with a 7-card stud hand submitted by one of our listeners. If you have a mixed game hand you'd like for us to break down, leave the details in a comment below or email mixedgrillpoker@gmail.com. Something else you can do if you happen to like this video, please click the corresponding button below. There's also a subscribe button to sign up for more Mixed Grill goodies in the future. And I tell you what I'm going to do right now is ask my friend Zach, what's up with this hand? Man, give me the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at a high stakes horse tournament that was playing. And when I say high stakes, I can't even tell you guys what stakes they are. That's how high we're talking. 7-card stud, high only, played in private club on Poker Stars. 150, 300 limits with a 30 chip ante and a 75 chip bring in. Our hero in the hand, the listener who submitted the hand to us, is going to be Jeff, who is known on the site as PSU Football. Shout out Nittany Lions. He is going to be facing off with Scott, who is known as Past Ball. But you don't care about their screen names, you care about the action. So let's dive into it. And we can see here that the hero in our hand is dealt 7 queen of diamonds down, 10 of diamonds up, facing the ace of hearts from UTG, 5 of spades, 5 of hearts, 3 of clubs, 9 of hearts, 9 of diamonds, and the bring in as a 2 of spades. Scott's going to complete here to 150 in early position with the 5 of spades showing. We'll have a call from the 5 of hearts and from the 3 of clubs. Jeff, as you see, decides to let his hair down a bit, puts in the 2-bet for 300 with the queen 7-10 of diamonds. The 9 of diamonds cold calls the 2-bet, and the 3 other players who originally limped call as well.
So Zach, you think that's a little bit loose? I mean, I don't know. I'm a novice stud player. Looks like a pretty good looking hand to me. Adam, what do you think? How's our hero doing so far?
Well, Jeff essentially has the highest up card. Since the UTG player with the ace of hearts up was sitting out to start the hand, given that he effectively has the highest up card, he's going to have more combinations of playable hands naturally compared to the other players at the table. It is important to pay attention to all of the up cards prior to acting on your hand on 3rd Street. Note that there were 2 5s up as well as 2 9s up, which actually makes it fairly likely that one of these players continuing in the hand has a split pair. The pot is almost certainly going to be multi-way, and Jeff should be putting in the 2-bet with a fairly strong range. Examples of hands that Jeff could 2-bet in this situation are hands such as split 10s, buried pairs higher than all of the up cards, 3 to a straight flush, and rolled up 10s. Jeff chooses to 2-bet with 7 queen of diamonds buried and the 10 of diamonds up, which is somewhat on the loose side, but given that he has 3 to a flush and all of his cards are higher than the other 3 up cards of the players who have already entered the pot before him, I think this is fine. Hand selection on 3rd Street is the most important strategic consideration in 7-card stud. Another thing to point out is that 5 players continue for 2 bets on 3rd Street, which tells us something about the game conditions. The 3 up and the 5 up should be 2-betting or folding versus an EP complete. Also, there aren't too many hands that the 9 up should be cold calling with versus a 2-bet. So it appears that the game is playing rather loosely and passively. Given the game conditions that we observe, we don't want to be getting out of line in multi-way situations.
And we go to 4th Street now. 5-handed. Scott catches the ace of spades to go along with the 5 of spades. The 5 of hearts catches the 8 of spades. The 3 of clubs grabs the 9 of clubs. Our hero Jeff catches the 4 of diamonds and improves to a flush draw. And the 9 of diamonds catches the deuce of diamonds. Action checks through to Jeff, and he is going to lead with his diamond draw. The 9 deuce folds, and Scott raises to 300 with his ace of spades, 5 of spades showing. The other 2 players remaining fold their hands. Jeff, getting an incredible price with his flush draw, decides to call.
So instead, it's important to keep track of the up cards due to the information they provide in helping to put our opponents on ranges, as well as helping us to assess the card removal aspects of the hand. At this point in the hand, we really can begin to narrow Scott's range. Given that he did not 3-bet on 3rd Street, he is unlikely to have a big pair in the hole. He may have ace-5 buried, however unlikely, since he opened from an early position and one of the 5s was dead. We now see on 4th Street that the 8 of spades is dead, and thus limiting the combination of straight flush draws in Scott's range. The 7 of spades, 6 of spades is possible, as well as 2 buried high cards suited in spades. Rolled up 5s is also a possibility, however, extremely rare given that there is only one combination remaining with the 5 of hearts being dead. Considering all the possible hands, the most likely holding for Scott is an ace-high flush draw, which Jeff has 40% heads-up equity against with his queen-high flush draw. Jeff has to call 150 to win 2,265, so he is getting roughly 15 to 1 on a call. Jeff does make the call, getting an incredible price, and let's go to 5th Street.
And here on 5th Street, Scott catches the king of hearts, and Jeff catches the 7 of clubs. With the upper limit betting round from 5th Street on, Scott will be able to bet 300, which he gladly does, and Jeff calls.
Jeff has now paired one of his hole cards, and if he is in fact up against an ace-high flush draw, he is now a slight equity favorite. If his opponent has aces and 5s, Jeff would have 34% equity to win the hand, while getting roughly 9 to 1 on the call. Jeff needs a minimum of 10% equity to profitably call the bet, making this an automatic call on 5th Street.
On 6th Street, Scott catches the king of clubs, and Jeff catches the 3 of hearts. Scott pulls ahead with his board now, showing a pair of kings, and Jeff will need to improve on the river in order to have a chance to win the hand. Scott continues his leading, betting 300 on 6th Street, and Jeff calls.
Scott catches the king, and now his board is showing a pair of kings. This is unfortunate for Jeff, since now he knows he needs to improve on the river in order to be able to win at Showdown. However, he's getting even better odds now than he was getting on 5th Street, so he must continue, which he does.
And Jeff does improve his hand on 7th Street and may now be good. Scott continues to lead for 300, and Jeff has a decision on his hands.
Yeah, decision time here on 7th Street. Jeff picks up another 10. He's got 10s and 7s versus Scott showing the 2 kings and betting again. I'm kind of a fish and stud. I would call here just in case Scott only has kings and we're perhaps good, though I would most of the time expect to be losing. Adam, what are you thinking on this 7th Street? You think Jeff is good? Is the call good? What's going on here?
Yeah, this is definitely an annoying spot. Jeff improves his hand, as we said. It may now be good, it may not be. He's getting 13 to 1 on a call, so he needs to be winning more than 7% of the time for the call to be correct. So in this particular spot, I think the thing we need to be thinking about is whether Scott is ever betting with only a pair of kings. Given that we're getting such an incredible price to call, it's going to be hard to ever fold. We basically need to know that our opponent is never betting a pair of kings in this particular situation. That means that when our opponent bets, they have all hands better than only a pair of kings, and they check when they are unimproved on this river. So from Jeff's perspective, he's just pretty much going to have to pay this hand off and call with his 10s and 7s.
And with Jeff getting such an incredible price, he does in fact call. Scott ended up snagging the 6 on 7th Street to make kings up and will win the hand.
So Scott did start with the 6, 7 of spades buried. So he had a straight flush, improved to an ace-high flush draw, basically improved the whole way on every street. He finally gets to kings and 6s on 7th Street, and I'm really a big fan of his value bet here. It's important to be getting the value bets in stud. As we can see, from Scott's perspective, Jeff's board isn't really showing much here, so he is going to have a lot of 1-pair hands and maybe some weak 2-pair hands, and you want to be getting those value bets in. I love how Scott played this hand. He really played it perfectly, and he got a total fish to pay him off on the river, and it's exactly what we want.
Jeff, what a loser.
I don't even know how he got into the game, to be honest.
Yeah, well, it's back to the drawing board for Jeff. Good hand, Scott. But thank you, Jeff, for submitting your hand and sharing it with us so we could break it down. Thank you, Adam and Zach. And thanks to all of you for watching. Once again, if you have a mixed game hand you'd like for us to analyze in a future video, leave the details in the comments below or email us mixedgrillpoker@gmail.com. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on The Mixed Grill.